Well, it's Groundhog Day. Again. And that must mean that I am Professor Robert E.G. Black, and this is the Groundhog Day Project.
It's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about.
It's a thing where the same day keeps happening.
Time.
I wake up every day right here, right in Punxsutawney, and it's always February 2nd.
The last revision is what counts, apparently.
So we're in minute 93 of Groundhog Day, the Bachelor auction. Phil has been bought by Rita. Larry is on the stage, and Buster has just suggested they start the bidding at $1.50. Nobody bids. So he says, anybody? 75 cents. And then we get Gertie saying, I bid 2 bits. Or is it Sarah that says that? No, I think it's Sarah that says it, not Gertie. Gertie's the taller one. Buster's like, sold to the lady for 25 cents. He doesn't even do like a going once, going twice kind of thing. He doesn't try to get more money, which is so silly. I won't talk about, in case you're too young to understand it, why 2 bits is a quarter. I think I wrote a blog entry about that. I don't even remember the details of why bits are what they are. It's not like we had half quarters at some point, I don't think. It's the same thing that gets us the, pieces of 8 Pirates of the Caribbean movies? As if you're dividing a thing up into parts like that.
In fact, the Spanish dollar was what the U.S. dollar was based upon, and it remained a legal tender in the United States all the way up until 1857. The piece of 8 got its nickname because it was worth 8 reals, and was commonly cut into 8 pieces or bits to make change. If you've ever heard someone refer to a quarter as 2 bits, now you know why. 1/4 of a U.S. dollar would be 2 bits, or 2/8 of a coin.
She bought him for 25 cents, and she's like, I got him! And then Larry, hands up because he's up in the spotlight on stage, looks over, sees who it is, and if you watch, he doesn't say it out loud, but he mouths, oh shit. Because he just saw who bought him. I think he's going to have a great time. I think Sarah and Gertie are going to take care of him, and he's going to have a good night. He was looking for Nancy, but I think he's going to be okay. Then we cut to the back of the room. This is where Larry, Rita, and Nancy walked in a few minutes ago. In this building now, there is a bar set up at the back here, so you don't walk in through here. You walk in over to the right. I should point out the visual on the wall, the quilt. Oh, I forget the names. I believe the quilt was made by someone in the family. Starts with an H, I want to say. Who are the ones that own a bunch of the props? If you go to the library display in Woodstock, a bunch of them say property of, and it's this one family in Woodstock. If I ever go to Woodstock again, I want to try to get in contact with them to see if they have other stuff outside what's at the library. But not just that there's this quilt on the wall, but it is this sort of halo of groundhogs, and in this sequence, the camera frames it so that Phil's head is in the middle of that halo. He has a halo of groundhogs. What was his Jungian shadow, Punxsutawney Phil, has now become an angelic halo for Phil Connors. So Rita and Phil are on their way out, and they stop in front of this quilt because Ned comes up to him. Phil Connors, I thought that was you. So that means this morning, Phil didn't go by the corner when Ned was there. Maybe he left earlier, so his timing was different.
Jumping in from editing because, am I going to realize my mistake? Of course he saw Ned today. He bought insurance. Let's see where this goes. I might just be really confused momentarily.
We know his timing was different on that other day where he hugged Ned. So there is some way to avoid Ned at the corner at that moment. Whatever that way is. We can assume Phil did it today. No, because he has seen.
Wow. Realized it quick. Yay me.
Ned's a weirdo. It's not that he didn't see him this morning. It's that Ned's a weirdo. Who saw their friend earlier today and then sees him again and is like, Phil Connors? Who talks like this? This isn't the first time you're seeing this guy. You saw him earlier today. I thought that was you. Just stop it, Ned. He's trying to turn every conversation into this surprise, exciting interaction. It's probably an insurance tactic. He's trying to make sales, but it's weird. And then Phil's like, Rita, this is Ned Ryerson, my new insurance agent. And Before I get into what he bought from Ned, I should point out that in Stork Day, Egia Ieri, the Italian remake of Groundhog Day, the thing that he has bought, is it 30 sheep? There was some auction where he just randomly bids on stuff because he thinks he can just get away with it. And then on the last day of the loop, he happened to have gone to the auction and bought something. So they pull up at the end of the movie with a truck full of sheep. I believe it's sheep. Might be pigs. Might be goats. Some animal that he has bought inadvertently because the loop ended. He could probably find someone else to buy him from him, but he will lose some money on it. Phil, of course, now a really well-insured guy because in response to him calling him his new insurance agent, Ned says, I'll say, I have not seen this guy for 20 years. He comes up to me, and then he buys whole life, term, Uniflex, fire, theft, auto, dental, health, with the optional death and dismemberment plan. Water damage. Phil, this is the best day of my life. And Phil says, mine too. And Rita, fantastic move on her part. She knows how to get out of conversations like this. It's like, mine too. And she starts to, walk with Phil away, past Ned and toward the exit. And Ned's like, where are we going? And Rita puts her hand on him. Great move. Says, oh, let's not spoil it. And I don't remember my source on this. It might be in Ramus's commentary. It might be somewhere else.
Oh, let's not spoil it.
She says let's not spoil it, but it was scripted as let's not ruin it. But with Andy's accent, she kept saying let's not ruin it. And I'd say, no, Andy, it's ruin, ruin. And she'd go, ruin, ruin. So we finally changed the line, let's not spoil it.
But the line was supposed to be ruin, not spoil. But because of her natural accent, Andy's from Kentucky originally, I want to say. That's why in Greystoke her voice was replaced with Glenn Close, is because her accent was too strong and she couldn't get the proper British thing for that character. So they replaced her voice in that movie. It was one of those things I wished I could have done when I had crazy ideas for the blog. I was like, I need to find contact info for Glenn Close and get her to record all of Rita's lines. It would be funny to just have a version of Groundhog Day where Andy McDowell's voice gets replaced again. That would be mean to Andy. Andy's great. Anyway, she says, okay, let's not spoil it. And then Ned, of course, responds, oh, let's not. I cannot make the noise he makes. It's like, it's a weird thing. Almost like a cat noise, but different. It's got a very rolled R thing going on that I can't do. And he says, pointing up, I got that.
I got that.
He understands they're trying to get away from him. I don't think he was in here for the auction, or he'd know that she just bought Phil and they are definitely off to go somewhere. But I think he gets they're heading out, and it's not his business to get in their way. So they walk on. Ned is left alone. Cut. Can't quite tell what he's doing yet because it's from above. It's a crane shot. Aerial shot looking down at Phil is doing something with Rita. There's no one else seemingly around. They are at Gobbler's Knob, or just, they're in the square at least. I think Gobbler's Knob is just supposed to be that stage, the mound. It is off behind them. You see it already. And when we cut down to the ground level shot, you can definitely see that Gobbler's Knob is behind them because the billboard thing behind it is lit up. And so we can see where they are in the square. They are not in the quadrant where they had the snowball fight. They're not over by the gazebo. They are in the southwest quadrant of the square. And on the close-up shot, we can see that Phil is carving something in basically packed in mound of snow in one of those planters that are around the square. And Rita is posing. Or, well, she's not really doing a pose, but she's sitting still. And she's like, why can't I look? Like she's trying to see what he's doing. He's like, because you bother me a lot. That is a funny line. And she says, I'm getting cold. How much longer do I have to sit here? And he says, I'm just, and we won't know what he just is until next minute, because the minute ends. And we're only 3 scenes from the end of the film. This scene and 2 more. So I guess my thing for you is, if you're somewhere where there's snow when this episode comes out, go out in the snow, play, carve something. Or go buy some insurance if you don't already have it. But as I said last minute, I think that was last minute, we shouldn't need to buy insurance. Universal health care, damn it.
You were going to say that.
This has been a production of Lemming Drops Studio. You can find links to more at lemmingdrops.com or join the Facebook group Lemming Drops Studio Tour. Also, you can support all my shows at patreon.com/lemmingdrops.
What is wrong in the end which never comes? Or which comes again and again, laughing, like waves.
Since the Big Bang set everything in motion, everything that happens in this universe has to be the way it is. Particles unfolding the way they're destined to.
How do you sleep at night? You've never seen Groundhog Day?
Yeah, you know Groundhog Day is not a documentary.
Remember when Groundhog Day was just a movie?